When people think of magic, they imagine spells, potions, and smoke-filled rooms. But narcissists use a different kind of magic, the magic of illusion. Their tricks aren't performed on a stage, but inside your mind. They weave stories so convincing, you believe them. Their magic doesn't require wands or rituals. It uses words, charm, and manipulation. By the time you realize it's a performance, the spell is already cast, and you've become part of their show. The first magic trick narcissists use is enchantment. They charm you with charisma, attention, and exaggerated affection. It feels like a fairy tale at the start. They shower you with love, promises, and grand gestures. This is the love bombing stage, but it feels magical, like destiny. The enchantment works because it blinds you. You believe you've found something extraordinary, when in reality it's just the first trick in their book, designed to hook you deeply. Once you're enchanted, they move to the second trick, disappearing acts. Suddenly the affection vanishes. They withdraw, leaving you confused and desperate to get the magic back. You replay moments in your mind, wondering what went wrong. This push and pull works like sleight of hand. Now you see it, now you don't. The trick poisons you because you chase the high of the early enchantment, not realizing it was never real. It was always part of the illusion. The third magic they use is misdirection. Like a stage magician, they draw your attention to one hand while the other is hiding the truth. They accuse you of flaws they secretly carry. If they're lying, they accuse you of dishonesty. If they're unfaithful, they blame you for being suspicious. The misdirection confuses you, making you focus on defending yourself instead of questioning them. That's how the trick works. You lose sight of reality while chasing false accusations. Projection is one of their favorite spells. It's like a mirror they hold up, but the reflection is twisted. Everything dark inside them gets projected onto you. You start carrying burdens that were never yours. This magical mirror warps your sense of identity. You find yourself apologizing, defending, and doubting, as if their flaws were your own. The magic is powerful because it's invisible. You don't realize the reflection is fake until you finally step back. Another spell they use is glamour. In fairy tales, glamour is a charm that makes something ugly look beautiful. Narcissists use this to hide their true nature. To the outside world, they appear flawless, successful, charming, generous. Behind closed doors, the mask slips, but only for you. This magic makes it hard for others to believe your story. Their glamour keeps them adored in public while you suffer in silence, doubting your own experience against their shining image. The fifth trick is vanishing your support. Like a magician, removing props, they isolate you from friends and family. They convince you others don't care, or they create conflicts that distance you from your circle. Soon, you're left alone, dependent on them. This is no accident. It's deliberate magic. Without your support system, their spell is stronger. The trick ensures they become the center of your world, leaving you with fewer anchors to reality and fewer places to turn. Fear is another potion in their arsenal. They don't need cauldrons or curses. Their looks, words, and silence are enough. Fear is their dark magic. You begin walking on eggshells, adjusting every move to avoid their anger. The spell works because it conditions you, making you your own jailer. Even when they're not around, you feel the enchantment of fear controlling you. The magic is invisible, but it chains you tighter than any visible rope could. The seventh spell is confusion. Magicians know that confusion is key. If the audience can't follow, the trick looks real. Narcissists do the same. They twist words, change stories, and contradict themselves until your head spins. You lose track of what's true. That's the magic. They disorient you so you stop trusting your own memory. This spell, often called gaslighting, poisons slowly. Once you doubt your reality, their illusion becomes the only truth you can cling to. Shame is their curse. Narcissists sprinkle shame like dark dust over everything you do. No matter how much you give, it's never enough. No matter how hard you try, you're still wrong. Shame works like a hex, infecting your thoughts long after the narcissist is gone. You hear their voice in your head, criticizing, mocking, belittling. The spell lasts because shame rewires your self-image. Their magic ensures you carry their curse even when they're not present. Another deadly magic is the spell of false hope. Narcissists know that dangling promises keeps you hooked. They say, "I'll change," or "things will be different," and for a moment you believe. False hope is like a potion that numbs the pain. You drink it because you want relief, but like all bad potions, it wears off, leaving you weaker than before. This cycle is part of their act. Keep you hoping, keep you waiting, keep you trapped. Triangulation is another illusion. Like a magician pulling a rabbit from a hat, they suddenly bring a third person into the act. They mention an ex, flirt with someone else, or compare you to another. This spell makes you feel inadequate and desperate to compete. But the real trick isn't about the other person. It's about control. By shifting your focus outward, they keep you chasing approval inward. The illusion makes you fight for what should already be yours. The disappearing empathy trick is one of the cruelest. At first, they mirror your emotions perfectly. They seem to understand you better than anyone else. But once you're hooked, the empathy vanishes. Suddenly, your feelings no longer matter. This trick works because you remember the early magic, the illusion of empathy. You chase it, hoping it will return, but it never does. The spell has served its purpose, and now you're left questioning your own worth. Another spell is the curse of labels. They call you too sensitive, selfish, or crazy. These labels stick to your skin like magical brands. You carry them into your thoughts, doubting your every action. The curse works because it reshapes your identity. You begin living under names that were never yours. Breaking this curse takes immense strength, because the words replay in your head like chants. But once you reject the label, the spell begins to break. Narcissists also cast the spell of exhaustion. Their endless drama, conflicts, and chaos drain your energy. You become too tired to fight, too weary to resist. The magic of exhaustion is that it lowers your defenses. When you're worn out, their illusions feel easier to accept. The trick doesn't need to be clever. It just needs to be relentless. Like a spell cast every day, the poison accumulates until you no longer have the strength to question it. Another form of magic is the spell of dependency. Narcissists convince you that you can't survive without them. They remind you of all they've done, twist your fears, and paint a picture where your life would collapse without their presence. This dependency works like a magical chain. You forget your own strength and start to believe they hold the key to your survival. The illusion blinds you to the truth. You were always stronger than their trick. The illusion of perfection is one of their grandest acts. To outsiders, they look flawless, successful, charming, admired. They curate this mask with care, ensuring everyone sees the highlight reel. Meanwhile, you see the chaos behind the curtain. This glamour spell makes it hard to get support because people can't reconcile the image with the reality. You begin to doubt your own story, wondering if maybe you're the one imagining things. That's how the magic traps you. Another magical tactic is the endless loop. Narcissists keep you stuck in cycles of harm, apology, and promise. They hurt you, then suddenly transform into the sweet version of themselves again. It feels like you've been rescued, but it's just the cycle repeating. The illusion works because you cling to the moments of kindness, forgetting they are part of the spell. Each loop ties you tighter, like a magician's rope trick, until escape feels impossible. The spell of unpredictability is one of their sharpest tools. You never know which version of them will show up, the affectionate charmer or the cold destroyer. This uncertainty keeps you anxious, constantly guessing. The magic works by keeping you in survival mode, unable to relax or think clearly. Just like a magician relies on surprise, narcissists rely on unpredictability to keep you off balance. The longer you live in that tension, the deeper the spell binds you. Another trick is illusion of sacrifice. They remind you of all they've given up for you, presenting themselves as martyrs. This manipulative spell poisons you with guilt. You begin to feel undeserving, indebted, and permanently in their shadow. In truth, most of their sacrifices are exaggerated or fabricated. But the story feels magical It paints them as selfless heroes, while painting you as ungrateful. This spell convinces you to stay, because leaving feels like betrayal. The spell of envy is subtle but deadly. Whenever you shine, achieve or grow, they quietly cast a shadow. They may dismiss your accomplishments or minimize your joy. This envy works like a dark charm. It drains your excitement, making you hide your success to keep the peace. The illusion here is that your happiness harms them, when in reality, their poison is jealousy. Their spell convinces you to dim your light, forgetting it was meant to shine brightly. Another spell they use is the distortion of time. They keep you trapped in the past by reminding you of every mistake, or they hold your future hostage with threats. No one will ever love you like I do. This manipulation of time is magical because it makes the present vanish. You're always stuck in regret or fear, never in the now. Their spell ensures you can't see your freedom in the present moment, only chains from every direction. The spell of labels is another tactic. They assign names to you: crazy, selfish, too much, and repeat them until you wear them like a costume. Over time, the labels become part of your identity. This enchantment works because words carry power, and repeated enough, they start to feel true. You begin to perform under their script, living as the character they created. The spell of labels reshapes your identity, but it was never yours to begin with. The spell of silence is often underestimated. Instead of shouting, they punish with withdrawal. The silence grows heavy, making you desperate to fix things. This is their magic. They train you to chase them, to beg for scraps of attention. The illusion works because silence feels like emptiness, and you fill it with self-blame. The more you chase, the more power they hold. Their silence is not absence. It's a deliberate spell meant to bend you further. Another cruel spell is triangulation. They bring others into the picture, not to build relationships, but to create jealousy and competition. Suddenly, you're not enough. They compare you to an ex, a coworker, or even a stranger. The magic works because it destabilizes your confidence, making you fight for their attention instead of questioning why you should compete at all. This illusion convinces you their approval is a prize, when in reality, it was never worth chasing. The spell of exhaustion is relentless. Narcissists thrive on drama, arguments, and conflict. They stir chaos until you're drained of energy. The magic here is that exhaustion makes you compliant. When you're too tired to argue, their illusion wins by default. This isn't one grand trick, but daily small battles designed to wear you down. Like a magician's endless performance, the act continues until you can no longer tell where the real you ends and their spell begins. The spell of false comparison poisons slowly. Narcissists constantly measure you against others. Why can't you be more like them? Each comparison feels like a small sting, but over time it becomes a wound. The magic is that you begin comparing yourself to. You adopt their distorted lens, believing you're inadequate. This spell works because it shifts the standard. You no longer measure yourself by your growth, but by their manipulative and impossible expectations. The spell of humiliation is one of their sharpest weapons. They embarrass you publicly, mock your words, or expose secrets in the guise of a joke. The magic works because it's disguised as humor. Outsiders laugh, but you feel the sting. Over time, the humiliation poisons your confidence, making you smaller and quieter. The spell works because you begin censoring yourself, shrinking into invisibility. What was once light-hearted becomes dark sorcery, casting shadows over your voice. The spell of scarcity is another illusion. They withhold affection, praise, or validation, giving only tiny doses when it suits them. This creates an addictive cycle. You crave their approval like water in a desert. The magic works because scarcity magnifies value. Their rare crumbs of affection feel like treasures. This illusion keeps you hooked, always striving for more, forgetting that real love isn't scarce. The spell convinces you their validation is priceless, when in fact it's worthless. Finally, the spell of erasing identity is perhaps their darkest trick. They strip away your hobbies, passions, and dreams, convincing you they don't matter. Slowly, you forget who you were before them. This is their ultimate illusion. You no longer see yourself clearly. The spell destroys from within, leaving a hollow reflection shaped by their control. But even this spell can be broken. The moment you reclaim your identity, their magic collapses, and the illusion shatters forever. The spell of self-doubt may be the most corrosive of all. Narcissists sprinkle doubt into every corner of your mind. Are you sure? Did that really happen? You always get things wrong. These lines replay like chants, weakening your confidence. The magic works because you begin to question your own memory, instincts, and decisions. Self-doubt spreads like fog, making it harder to see clearly. In the haze, their illusions look sharper, and their control feels absolute. The spell of distorted love is particularly cruel. At first, their affection feels magical, intense, consuming, and special. But over time, it transforms into conditional approval. You must perform, please, and sacrifice to earn it. This enchantment convinces you that love is supposed to hurt, that passion and pain go hand in hand. The spell reshapes your definition of love itself, making healthy affection feel foreign. It's not real love, it's a spell designed to control. The spell of dependency through finances is another weapon. They may control money, withhold support, or use gifts as chains. This spell makes you feel trapped, unable to imagine life without their resources. The illusion is that you need them to survive, but true magic lies in your independence. The moment you realize your worth isn't tied to their wallet, their spell begins to fade. Financial manipulation is just another trick to weaken your wings and ground your flight. The spell of endless drama poisons your peace. Narcissists thrive on chaos, creating storms where none exist. They stir arguments, provoke conflicts, and manufacture crises. The magic lies in exhaustion. When you're drained, resistance feels impossible. The spell works not by strength, but by relentlessness. You give in just to find peace, not realizing peace never comes. Their drama is the show, and you are the unwilling audience, trapped in a performance that never ends. The spell of invisibility targets your joy. They dismiss your laughter, mock your passions, and ignore your achievements. Slowly, you begin hiding the things that light you up. The magic here is erasure. They make you believe your joy is silly or unimportant. The spell convinces you that shining too brightly is dangerous, that happiness will only draw their scorn. But invisibility isn't safety, it's surrender. Breaking this spell means daring to let your light shine again. The spell of obligation binds you through guilt. They remind you of all they've done for you, twisting generosity into debt. This guilt is poison disguised as gratitude. You feel chained to repay endlessly, even when the balance was already settled. The magic here is in balance. You give more, they give less, and still they demand repayment. The spell convinces you that freedom is selfish, when in truth love without choice isn't love at all, it's captivity. The spell of false destiny is another trap. They convince you that you're meant to be, that leaving would ruin fate itself. This enchantment works because humans crave meaning. We want to believe our struggles have purpose, but the spell twists destiny into a cage. Instead of guiding you toward growth, it binds you to pain. Real destiny uplifts, not destroys. Their false prophecy is nothing more than a trick to keep you in their story. The spell of broken trust leaves scars that outlast the relationship. They betray you, then convince you the betrayal was your fault. They shatter promises, then mock you for expecting consistency. This spell poisons your ability to trust, not just in them, but in others. The magic is insidious. It lingers even when they're gone. You second-guess future relationships, carrying their spell like a curse. Healing means reclaiming trust, not in them, but in yourself first. The spell of twisted reality is perhaps the most dangerous. Through gaslighting, projection, and manipulation, they reshape your world. You no longer know what's true or false, what's real or imagined. This spell creates dependency. If you can't trust your mind, you must rely on theirs. The illusion is complete when you stop questioning. But even the strongest illusion cracks under light. The moment you name the manipulation, the spell begins to crumble at its core. The spell of stolen identity strips you of who you are. Your hobbies, passions, and quirks are mocked. until you abandon them. Slowly, you forget the person you were before their magic. This spell is effective because it doesn't just change how you act, it changes how you see yourself. You become a shadow, molded in their image. But the truth is, your identity was never gone. It waits quietly for the moment you break free of their curse. The spell of control through unpredictability keeps you on edge. You never know when the next outburst, insult or withdrawal will come. This inconsistency is deliberate. It trains your body to stay in survival mode. The magic works because unpredictability feels exciting at times, confusing at others, and terrifying always. You live in constant suspense, like an audience waiting for the magician's next trick. The spell keeps you hooked, even as it destroys your peace. The spell of despair convinces you there's no escape. They tell you no one else would want you, that you're nothing without them. This dark enchantment traps you in hopelessness. The magic lies in repetition. The more you hear it, the more it sounds true. Despair weakens your will, making you believe leaving is impossible. But despair is only a spell, not reality. The moment you see hope, the illusion cracks, and their dark magic loses its hold. The spell of betrayal cuts the deepest. They pretend loyalty while plotting against you, acting caring while undermining you. Betrayal feels like a curse because it breaks the foundation of trust. The magic here is the shock you never expected, and when it comes, it feels devastating. But the truth is, betrayal reveals their nature, not yours. Their spell cannot erase your worth. The betrayal you endured is proof of their deceit, not your failure. The spell of stolen peace lingers long after they're gone. The constant stress, the anxiety, the overthinking, all of it feels like residue from their magic. This spell convinces you peace is unattainable, that calm will always escape you. But peace is not lost, it's just buried under their illusion. Slowly, with healing, you brush away the residue and rediscover calm. Their magic may have stolen peace temporarily, but it can never permanently erase your right to rest. The spell of perfectionism poisons your drive. They demand impossible standards, then criticize when you fall short. This spell convinces you that no matter how much you do, it's never enough. The magic lies in the chase. You run faster, try harder, but the finish line always moves. Perfectionism is a spell designed to exhaust, not inspire. Once you realize the goalpost was always shifting, you see the trick for what it is, an illusion of failure. The spell of distorted intimacy manipulates closeness. They withhold affection to punish or give it only to reward. Love becomes transactional. Intimacy becomes conditional. This spell convinces you that affection must be earned, not freely given. The magic works because you crave connection, and they turn that craving into control. But real intimacy is not magic, it's authenticity. Their spell poisons your idea of love, but healing teaches you the truth. Love is never a bargain. The spell of envy and sabotage is especially cruel. When they see you succeed, they secretly try to undermine it. They might dismiss your achievement or plant seeds of doubt. This spell works because it makes you question your abilities. Instead of celebrating, you feel guilty for shining. Their envy is not your curse, it's their wound. The spell of sabotage is their attempt to dim your light, but your glow remains stronger than their shadows. The spell of false identity is a mask they place on you. They tell others you're unstable, dramatic, or unreliable. This creates a false version of you in the minds of others. The magic is projection. You're forced to defend yourself against lies, while they stand untarnished. This spell isolates you further, as people believe the mask more than the truth. But illusions don't last forever. Eventually the mask cracks, and their spell reveals the deception beneath. The spell of endless hunger ensures you never feel satisfied. No matter what you do, it's not enough. This enchantment keeps you striving for approval that never comes. The magic works because hunger creates obsession. You keep giving, hoping the next act will finally earn praise. But the spell is designed to fail. You were never meant to win. Breaking free means refusing to perform in their show. The moment you stop chasing, their spell collapses. In the end, the magic of narcissists is not real power, it's illusion. They cast spells of words, shame, fear, and control. But every trick depends on one thing: your belief. Once you see through the illusions, their magic fades. They cannot destroy you without your participation. Awareness is your antidote, truth is your shield, and healing is your light. Their dark magic may feel powerful, but your freedom is the greatest spell of all.